Hello and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. Today we're going to review an Oneplus 5. As you can see from the packaging, it looks exactly the same. The box looks exactly the same as 3, apart from a massive 5 on the front and a clearer dual camera, clearer photos on the side. Let's grab a top bit. I wonder if it takes 7 seconds like with the iPhone to open the box. Yeah, if you grab the top bit with an iPhone, it takes apparently 7 seconds to slide out. But anyway, that's the phone and that's the shot on OnePlus. Okay, that's interesting. And friend, thanks for choosing the OnePlus 5. We developed this device with the goal of making effortlessly clear photography. Okay, yep, thank you. I appreciate that. Yep, so that's a dash charger that you do get in the box, obviously. It worked a treat. It was absolutely magical with the OnePlus 3. So. And here we've got another box that has a small tray in it, so a quick start guide that shows you where to put the SIM cards in. And yeah, the phone is a dual SIM model. It doesn't take any memory cards at all. But it is unlocked. Even if you buy it through Auto in UK, the phone comes unlocked, and then you get a pin that allows you to open the actual SIM trays. I wonder if that does anything. No, it doesn't. So that's the phone itself. Kinda reminds me of a mix of between an iPhone 7 and 7 Plus with the NFC sensor here. Interesting. LED flash next to the dual camera setup. USB Type-C on the bottom, one mono speaker to the left, and a 3.5mm headphone jack to the right. Okay, and let's compare it to a OnePlus 3T. As you can see, the phone is a bit narrower, but obviously it does have the one on the left has an optic AMOLED display, as opposed to a normal AMOLED display on a 3T. Yeah. Size-wise, both 5.5 inch, both 1080p, so no 2K, 4K or anything like that in the phone. And Snapdragon 821 on the old model and 835 on the new model, Adreno 530 on the old and Adreno 540 on the new model. So yeah, let's have a look. So I'll compare the phones a bit more thorough later on, run some benchmarks and stuff, but let's go to the settings and let's find the settings first. Okay, so it runs on Android 7.1.1. Yeah, 7.1.1, and its own user interface in the likes of Oxygen OS, which is made by OnePlus. Now the phone is obviously highly customizable being OnePlus, but let's have a look at the storage. So we've got 128 gig model, which comes with 8 GB of RAM. However, we also have an option of 64 gig model, which comes with 6 GB of RAM. And like I said, the phone is very highly customizable. It's got a lot of options. So in the display, you've got the reading mode, which kind of works like it adjusts the tint and hue on the display when you're reading a low light, so it doesn't put as much strain into your eyes. Don't feel as strained as on a bright white display. Then obviously, if we go into the status bar, you can show the battery percentage, but also what's clever, you can display the network speed, so the speeds at which you are downloading apps or like any other files onto your phone. Then the buttons, like with a 3T, you can swap the buttons, you can turn off the backlight of the buttons, you can change from a physical buttons to an on-screen buttons navigation bar, you can swap multitasking with back, and so on and so on. Alert slider to the left, so when you press it, it can go to silent or ring or do not disturb mode, so a bit more options than a silent button on an iPhone, any iPhone actually. Okay, so OnePlus 3T, let's have a look at the difference of the user interface, and let's have a look first at Again, settings, yep, so settings. This one is running on 7.1.1 as well. But as you can see, the user interface looks a bit different. So with this one, you have to slide the apps from the top, where with this one, you just press the drawer button and it pulls all the apps. You've got this fancy animation. But anyway, let's get back to the 5. Now, what I'd like to focus on now is the camera. So that's again a bit different to OnePlus 3T. Now bear in mind that the one on the left is in a Pro mode, the one on the right is in standard mode. So let's change that to normal mode. And yeah, you've got the ×1 ×2 button on the bottom. Now if you slide it to the left, yeah, you can press it like on an iPhone, but if you slide it to the left or right, you can adjust the zoom. Then you've got the HDR mode, the aspect ratio and so on of the pictures. If you want to record videos, you choose video. You can also slide in the videos, but obviously everything that goes over to is digital zoom. 1080p 4K recording, yeah, that's on board as well. Portrait mode, which I will focus on later on in the video. I took some pictures and they are at the very end of the video, together with a comparison of pictures taken by the 3T and the 5. And here we've got the Pro mode with a histogram in top right, and obviously manual settings. But if we go to the camera settings, you can add shot on OnePlus watermark, you can turn the histogram off, you can turn or adjust the grids and lines, rule of thirds, and so on, so on. So quite a lot of options. Anything in the gallery? Don't think so. But yeah, let's have a look now. Yeah, I'm curious if there are any audio settings to tune in. No, not really. You can kind of adjust them, but you have to plug in the headphones. So no HD upscaling audio or anything like that. And like I said, we're gonna compare a CPU benchmark. Now the purpose of that is obviously both phones have completely different processors, and the 3T has a Snapdragon 821, like I said, as opposed to 835. And obviously it has 6 GB of RAM as opposed to 8, but I just want to see how kinda obsolete the 3T is as opposed to the 5. I mean, if you like numbers or anything like that, then obviously that's something you check. But 3T flies. It absolutely is absolutely brilliantly fast. So the results are in 1917, 1943, 64, 94, 42, 06. So, interesting. Not that different, but let's run Antutu 3D and see how the 3D both Adrenos perform. Now I did run the test before, but just want to see and show you obviously how the phones stack up. If you remember the recent review of the Xperia L1, you've probably seen that, and it was stuttering as hell. Now this is absolutely fluid. So let's have a look what's going on in here. Okay, yeah, very smooth, very fluid. I like that. Wonder what the results will be, if they will be the same as before. Can't tell that much difference, to be honest, when you watch that video obviously. And the left one has finished, so marooned 32 and 40, and the one on the right 27, so not that big difference, but 30 frames per second the garden. So yeah, there is obviously a significant upgrade on the 5. Now, like I said, OnePlus 5 portrait mode, it isn't as heavy as fluid as on the iPhone 7 Plus, but I would say it resembles a P9 or P10 more than a OnePlus 5 in terms of the digital background bokeh defocus mode. Yep. And last but not least, yay! Here we've got OnePlus 5 on the left versus OnePlus 3T on the right. Picture comparison. So again, you can see which ones you prefer. So thanks for watching another episode, guys, and I wish you a lovely day and take care. Bye!